Hey guys, I'm Chris from Creative Generation Studios, and welcome to our first edition of the CGS Gaming Reviews series, where we give you upfront and honest reviews for the year's game releases. And first off, I want to say upfront that this review will not contain any game footage, and if you would like to see game footage, we have a walkthrough up, both with single player and multiplayer. And I am sorry if a few of the videos have issues. This was my first playthrough, and in the future, my videos should be error-free. But let's get to the gist. Today, I'm going to review Gears of War Judgment. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, that's the good game. I actually had to return my copy of Judgment before I did this review, but anyways, this was developed by two developers, Epic Games and People Can Fly, which might explain some of the changes to the game itself. This game is a prequel to the Xbox 360 series and centers around the characters Baird and his ragtag squad around the events of Emergence Day. The day that all hell broke loose on their planet when the locusts rose up from underground and started attacking the citizens of Serra. This game, I feel, does not have a lot to offer for either fans of the series or just the everyday casual gamer. People have been disappointed in the game and saying that this game just might be a cash-in to make money for the 2013 year. You don't believe me? Well, let's find out. The campaign. If you haven't played the game yet, do not worry, I will not provide any spoilers. The game's campaign will last you anywhere from 6 to 7 hours, and honestly, it is a very weird experience from the other installments of the series, or possibly any other game's campaign. That said, of course, it still has the big features that make Gears, well, Gears. Active reload, push A to get in cover, the same weapons and enemies from Gears 3, with a few additions, of course. But what they did was break the game's 6 acts into sort of like mini missions, usually taking anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes on average to complete. And you are rated at the end of each mission with stars, or a ranking for each section. You can increase your chances of getting more stars if you choose to activate the optional campaign modifier, titled Declassified Missions, which is a cog symbol you find on the wall, and it alters your playing experience with anything from making the mission timed, or more enemies, whatever. Now, if you get 40 stars total, it unlocks the Aftermath mini hour-and-a-half campaign, which actually takes place during the Gears of War 3 story, and was personally one of the few features that I look forward to, of course. With the subject of the stars and the breaking down the story to missions, I personally do not like this, because what previous Gears games did was immerse the player in a story that was fluid and provided a very cinematic experience. This actually pulls you out of the story, making for a weaker plot and overall gaming experience. Not only that, but after you unlock Aftermath, there's really no incentive to go back and replay the campaign, except if you wanted to play it on a harder difficulty. The story was very meh. It's boring. Especially when you realize that when you're actually doing what you're actually doing doesn't actually affect the series at all. Anyway, at the end of the campaign, the characters just turn around and go their merry little way like the campaign never happened. The game's villain is also very weak. You see him once, maybe twice, before the boss fight at the end, which in turn was a very disappointing battle. When it ended, I said to myself, oh, it's over? Very disappointing. Now, Aftermath, which runs parallel to the Gears 3 story, centers around Cole, Baird, and Carmine when they search out to go find reinforcements for their assault on Azura. I can never pronounce that name right. I actually enjoyed playing this a lot. It plays like the other Gears installments, minus a few minor button changes that were used in the Judgment campaign. But most importantly, it does not have the freaking stars. So it's all just one fluid story. This alone, I think, makes it 2 times better than the actual campaign. I have a sneaky suspicion that what happened was that this mini-campaign was either going to be released as a DLC for Gears of War 3, and then they decided to just put it in Judgment instead, or that Epic made this, and People Can Fly could make the rest of the game. This explains some of the changes that are very noticeable. I don't know what happened with this game. All the previous Gears to me were some of my favorite games of all time, and they had me at the edge of my seat, our heart pounding with excitement, and with this, I feel like I'm just going through the motions. Now, let's talk the multiplayer. Once again, not a lot to offer. You have your standard game types, deathmatch, free-for-all, a sort of like territories game called domination, and overrun. Overrun is best described as a combination of beast and horde mode from Gears of War 3 and Team Fortress 2. One side is the locust, which is the offense, and the other is the humans, which is the defense. And each game divides you into 3 rounds. The locusts each have their own abilities and are trying to destroy the cog generators. You can get points for kills, healing people, etc. And these points can be used to unlock different kinds of locusts like the Sauropod and Mauler types. The humans are divided into 4 classes, each with their own unique ability, like healing defenses, climbing to areas that would be out of reach to normal players, stuff like that. And the humans have to defend their generator until the timer runs out. Now, I actually like this mode. It's very fun, and definitely better than some of the other modes in multiplayer. The thing is, you can actually go to the Xbox Live Marketplace and download this for free. As it's the Gears of War Judgment demo. It's just Overrun, and I'm not sure if it's the full mode or not, but still, the other modes are just okay. But what disappointed me are 3 things. 1. Certain features were taken out of the multiplayer gameplay, like active reload and downing, which is a down but not out stance for your avatar once you take on enough damage. And but you're still able to be healed. 2. The game modes that have been around since Gears 1, like Warzone and Execution, are nowhere to be seen in this game. 3. There are only 4 multiplayer maps. 4 for Overrun and 4 for the other modes. There's also this mode called Survival, which I guess is supposed to take the place of Horde mode, which oddly enough, a lot of campaign missions act and play like waves of Horde, and what Survival is it's basically Overrun with AI. Now, the summary of things. For $60, you get a short campaign that doesn't play like the previous Gears, boring multiplayer with the exception for Overrun, but which can be downloaded for free anyways, and short mini campaign, which is great, but doesn't justify the $60. I find it ironic that Epic Studios went and developed a game that in its entirety is not epic at all. Now, how our reviews work, I'm giving it 2 scores, an RBA written by a voice scored, and a 1 out of 10 score. And that's not to say if I gave a game a 5, it's horrible. It just means that it's just average. And after playing this game, not this game's great, but Judgment, after playing this, if you're a hardcore Gears fan, go rent it. You're going to have a better time playing Gears of War 3 multiplayer than this. And if you really want to play the campaign, go rent it for a day, play it, and wait for the next installment, which hopefully will be a good title and not this cheap cash-in. I'm giving Gears of War Judgment a 6 out of 10. I am very disappointed in this game, and hopefully they can come back and surprise us with a much better game on the new generation of consoles. So, a rent and a 6. I am Chris from Creative Generation Studios, and that wraps up our review. Now, I do have a prize to give out. This is a redeemable code for the first Gears of War and a 2-day trial. Now, the first to answer this question I'm about to say by commenting on this video will receive this code. The question is, what is the name of Dom's older brother? Only dedicated Gears fans would know that. Leave your reply in the section below. Now, another question. This is going to become a staple of our reviews. Whomever answers this question the best will be shouted out during our next Doing It Live podcast, the one that me and Alan do, and you can check that out with the link below. The question is, what would you do for a Klondike bar? I mean, they're just so delicious. So, if you have a reply, tweet hashtag Doing It Live podcast with the best answer you can possibly give. Think really hard now. Now, if you like what you see, go hit the subscribe button. And most importantly, go like our Facebook page. All links will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys.